Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder asked Dillian Whyte, where your B sample at? What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit that bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Patreon, the Cash App. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. Link is in the description. You can also sign up for ESPN Plus. Great app. You can get Hulu and Disney Plus. All three apps, one price, $12.99. Click on that link. Definitely helps the channel grow. Now, Deontay Wilder, link in the description. He was interviewed. He talked about, various things. And he was asked about Dillian Whyte. And he said he don't really have too much to say about Dillian Whyte. It's the day before his weigh-in when the interview was conducted. And he says, I do have a question. Dillian Whyte, where your B sample at? And he screamed it out, randomly, and said, where's your B sample? He was asked about Dillian Whyte. I guess he made some kind of post bringing up Wilder's fiance or girl or something. And he said, I'm not really worried about that. Bringing women and whatever else into it. I'm the champion of the world. Thank you for constantly, clout chasing basically and mentioning my name and keeping my name circulating. He's like, I'm not really too much worried about it. Dillian Whyte got his own situation. He's had many an opportunity to step in the ring and face me. Wilder's is like a broken record at this time. He said he could have fought Luis Ortiz, listened to the WBC, listened to me. He could have fought in eliminators. He could have fought Dominic Brazil, yada, yada, yada. He chose not to do it. So now he said he's trying to gain sympathy. I'm just paraphrasing. You guys can watch the actual interview if you like to have the actual, verbatim quote. Another thing that Deontay Wilder said regarding Dillian Whyte, he just says basically he's clout chasing and he's trying to gain sympathy. He needs a built-in excuse as to why he's fighting lesser opposition, guys that, with multiple losses, guys that no one really wants to see him fight. So he's mentioning me and saying he wants to fight with me and guys like me or whatever the situation is to fight the lower opposition and then basically have a scapegoat and say, hey guys, feel sorry for me. We were pushing for the bigger fight and we couldn't get it. So this is why we're fighting this person. My thoughts, this is exactly what I told you. This is very common on DAZN. We're seeing it too much. It's like the same play. They're doing the same play over and over. Eddie Hearn's doing it. Fighters are doing it before the fights. Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan Garcia will be fighting. He'll start saying, hey, Floyd, let's make Ryan Garcia Mayweather versus Golden Boy. Ryan versus Tank. And he just randomly bring that up the week that Ryan Garcia is about to fight Fonseca. And then when Ryan Garcia is enjoying his paycheck and just living life and stuff, we don't hear no negotiations, no offers being sent to Tank. It's just the oldest trick in the book. They did it with, this is all DAZN. I just haven't seen this as clout chasing, as a workable formula. At best you're playing the blame game, but it doesn't change your schedule. You still have to make the fights that the fans want to see. People get it's just a played out card. Demetrius Andrade, he's fighting Super Bowl week. He has Jake Paul. They treated that like that was the main event. Jake Paul versus Innocent Gibb, and allegedly Andrade versus Lucas Keeler, a fight nobody really asked for, was the main event. And Eddie Hearn kept talking about Charlo. Oh, I emailed Charlo in December. Charlo never responded to me. Charlo this. Here's the email, guys. Look, this is a Charlo email. Why won't Charlo fight Andrade? Oh, fight us, And it's just the routine thing. And like I said, Wilder, new media. He's saying the same thing with Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, we've heard in recent memory, Dillian Whyte talk more about Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and Andy Ruiz. And come to find out, it hasn't been announced yet, but it's common knowledge that he's going to fight Alexander Povetkin, pending this announcement. So it's just a waste of everybody's time. The WBC has told Dillian Whyte, hey, Wilder Fury, they have a trilogy that their teams negotiated, or the option for a trilogy. They definitely have the second fight, which is, 2 days out. We are not going to order any mandatories because this is a big fight for boxing, possibly 2 more fights. There's a lot of money. There's 2 networks working together for the first time in ever, maybe in the first time in a long time at the very least. ESPN and Fox, they're putting a big promotion behind it. This is bigger than any WBC mandatory for him like you. So you will not fight Wilder in 2020. This is what the WBC explicitly spelled out. Yet and still, Eddie Hearn, every time he gets on the camera, Dillian Whyte social media, he keeps going to the media trying to gain sympathy. Hey, I've been waiting, guys, 800 days. Now it's 840 days. Why would you even be counting when you've already been instructed that you aren't fighting Wilder, and you as the mandatory have to sit for the Wilder Fury saga to end? It's just what Wilder's saying is what I've been saying, and it's absolutely true. There's at that point when the WBC says we're not calling. Okay, you went the WBC route. Just let me explain this to you guys. Dillian Whyte is within the WBC route. He actually has an interim belt or silver belt or whatever belt he has. For that reason, being a version of a champion, he is not sanctioned in any other sanctioning body because he's listed as a champion, an interim champion or whatever with the WBC. So he's waiting on a mandatory shot. So you're not sanctioned in Wilder only has 1 belt. You are sanctioned as the number 1 mandatory for that 1 belt. You are not sanctioned for anybody else, WBA, WBO, or IBF, IBO, etc., because you're a champion. And the 1 belt you are sanctioned for, the 1 belt that Deontay Wilder has, that sanctioning body has already told you you won't be fighting him this year. So there would be no reason to get your hopes up, to keep counting. You're just doing it for sympathy, and you want people to feel sorry for you, because the one route you've chosen, you could have been done eliminators and stuff like that to expedite this, but the route you've chosen is the WBC route, and they already told you what's up. So why would you continue counting from that point? It's clout chasing. It makes 0 sense. Why talk about Andy Ruiz? Okay, your promoter tried to get the fight. You couldn't agree, money, whatever the situation was. You're not fighting him. Dillian Whyte's still talking about Andy Ruiz, still talking about Wilder, and he's likely to fight Povetkin. Why not talk bad about Povetkin, cuss him out? Talk about Povetkin's girlfriend or whatever. It's just, it gets old. That's why Wilder's like, we're not worried about it. Where's your B sample? And that's just the cold, harsh reality. And then my other thing is this. We're almost on the eve of an electric heavyweight fight that should be really good. I'm really happy for it. Wilder Fury 2. Why are so many people asking Deontay Wilder about Dillian Whyte? Like, it's just like people are trying to create narratives or get certain sound bites almost. You know what I'm saying? To each his own. But I don't understand. I just keep hearing people get Wilder's time. And out of all the craziness Fury says, out of all of what Javon Sugar Hill and Andy Lee has said, all the stuff that Shelly Finkel, JD has said, all the interviews Wilder said, Fury said, and people are getting Wilder's time, asking him about Dillian Whyte, which is not even in the picture. As I mentioned, what he's doing is irrelevant to the situation. We're on the heels of a monumental fight for the heavyweight division. People are saying Ali Frazier, Ali Foreman, Mike Tyson Lewis, that type of epicness. And people keep asking him. Sky Sports just did an interview, and Wilder checked the dude and said, oh, good job trying to make an excuse for him, try to cover for him, and he called the guy out. You know, it's just the agenda is looking bad. You know, it's looking bad. Why is Sky Sports bothering him with this Dillian Whyte? Like, it's like, I understand taking care of, you know, someone in your gym or someone for your country, but there's a time and a place. Out of all the things to talk about, all the things that Fury said, all the craziness, all the crazy shit Wilder has said, and your focus remains to be Dillian Whyte. You know, it's like these PR people need to like start screening people for their questions. It's a waste of time. Dillian Whyte will get his chance if he keeps winning, I'm sure. You know, he's the mandatory. But that's not going to happen until February 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So anything else is like uncivilized. It's just literally wasting everybody's time to even keep talking about this. That's why Wilder's like, I'm not really worried about him. He said he could talk about women and girls and stuff. He said in this interview he don't have a girl, you know. And it's weird that the UK is co-signing this. Like, the UK fans, they think this is cool. I'm just letting you know, over here in America, that's not how it's being perceived. There's a big US versus UK fight this weekend, Wilder versus Fury. I can assure you, in America, nobody's really worried about Dillian Whyte right now. If Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin is such a good fight, then why would we even be looking past that? Why would we looking past Wilder Fury? You know? But the reality is, Dillian versus Povetkin is not the desired fight. It's not what people are asking for. So that's why people are so eager to keep talking about fights that actually would be good. Wilder versus Dillian Whyte, or Dillian Whyte, you know, versus Andy Ruiz. So I think Eddie Hearn and Rematch Room, they should look for a stronger opponent than Alexander Povetkin. Dillian Whyte, there's nothing, he's not like AJ, he has to fight Kubrat Pulev. So why is he fighting Alexander Povetkin coming off a draw? Why not fight Luis Ortiz? Everyone wants to say he's old. Why not fight him? Why not fight Filip Ergovic? Why not fight Usyk? You know, the walls are closing in. Why not fight Michael Hunter? He's saying he's the boogeyman, and he's aligned with that Rematch Room and Eddie Hearn, and he has an amateur background. He really beat Povetkin, in my opinion, and then they scored it a draw. So why fight Povetkin? We've seen Povetkin knocked out. I haven't seen Hunter get knocked out. So that would be a good win if Dillian Whyte can do that. See, it's like they don't, again, Eddie Hearns, they want to make an omelet, but they don't want to crack any eggs. They don't want to put Dillian Whyte in with a style or a particular person that they feel could get one over or make him look bad. You know, they're not trying to chance it. They don't want Dillian Whyte to lose his spot, so they want to put him in there with a 40-year-old Povetkin, all the while call Luis Ortiz old. Luis Ortiz, he was knocked out, yes, but he keeps getting knocked out by the same person. Alexander Povetkin got dropped by Klitschko a ton of times, failed a drug test with Wilder, failed another drug test in the Stavern fight in Russia, and those both got canceled in the same year. He got hurt by David Price. He got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. You know, he should have lost to Michael Hunter in his last fight, but they scored it a draw. You know, what are we really talking about? It's looking bad. Walls closing in, new media.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.